Southern Health Partners and the Henderson County Detention Center, but we're going to begin as we always do with an invocation. Please stand. Dear Lord, please protect us as we do the business of the county. Please watch over our citizens, our people, their families, our neighbors as we continue to deal with the coronavirus outbreak. Please watch over all of our families, all of our first responders, all of our men and women in the military. In Jesus' name.
Amen.
Please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Mr. Clerk, please call the roll.
Magistrate Southard.
Here.
Magistrate Putman.
Here.
Magistrate Moran.
Here.
Magistrate Berry.
Here.
Magistrate McCollum is absent.
We do have a quorum, and for the first order of business, first and only order of business, as you obviously know, the jail has a contract with Southern Health Partners to provide the statutorily required medical care at the jail, and the contract with Southern Health Partners was extended, I believe, at the beginning of the year, and the extension deadline is April 1st, tomorrow. So in working with Southern Health Partners and potentially offering out the medical service as a bid later this fiscal year, we asked Southern Health Partners for an extension with a couple other points of interest in that extension language, and the proposed extension is through June 30th, the end of this fiscal year. And I'll bring Leslie up to discuss any additional information or add any inputs you'd like.
Honestly, I don't really have much on it. I know that she spoke to me about it yesterday, said that we were going to extend it to June 30th, and then we talked about it again.
Extensive work done with the jailer, Mr. Gold, and the jail committee to come to an agreement with Southern Health Partners on the language. And Mr. Gold, anything you'd like to add?
Essentially, it's an extension of the prior contract, which was contemplated in the initial request for proposals. It had contemplated annual extensions, but this one is through June 30th. We'd been operating on an extension to March 31st, and so this goes until June 30th and does make some changes with regard to some of the staffing levels to address some of the situations that have been going on, and some minor other clarifications with regard to access to the jail and staffing levels. A lot of those things about delivery of services to address some of the challenges that had occurred between the jail and SHP.
And came to an agreement, all parties dealing with the extension. Some of the concerns that Jailer Brady had are going to be discussed on the sideline between Southern Health Partners leadership and our local jail staff to iron out any ongoing challenges they have. So Southern Health Partners leadership has agreed to do that. And anybody have any questions?
In this 90 days, are we going to go outside and look for bids?
Very possibly, yes. And one of the advantages of the extension is it gives us time,
Right.
the proper time to do that.
Well, and the main thing the jailer wanted to do was to get it on a fiscal year. It made it difficult for her to budget if numbers changed on January 1st or something like that, given the current year budget. So that's one of the major things that she wanted to do, was to get it on a fiscal year to provide a little more accuracy in budgeting when it comes to the fiscal report. And we did work extensively with the jailer with regard to this, as far as the actual terms and dollars and cents and all that stuff. That was between her and SHP. However, with regard to some of the language and everything, we worked with SHP and their counsel, and as such, the contract or the extension agreement is approved as to form and legality.
Thank you, Steve.
Any other questions?
Leslie, I've got one. May not be a fair
Sure.
question, and that's okay. How competitive is the market for the healthcare market for the jail? I mean, how many companies? I'm assuming there's several.
Oh, I think
you may
that there
not know,
will
and
be
that's okay.
several, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
But there's.
I know
enough
at
to-
least two, I think, that, we'll put in for bids for.
Sure.
but, yeah.
Okay.
in addition to Southern Health Partners, they'll be able to bid as well.
Right.
Any
Do
other
we have
questions?
any information on the other companies that,
No,
so we don't?
I do
know?
not have any information. We've been with Southern Health Partners for years. So, I mean, it's just new to us to go out and try and look for a different company. So as far as any information, I do not have any.
And I know the jailer's actively researching
Mhm.
other companies that are in this sector, so.
I believe when the jailer took over, we got together with her and she was looking at all the different contracts out there, and I believe the Southern Health Partners contract at the time had been extended something like 14 or 15 times at that point, just because there had been that longstanding relationship there. So there's not a track record with any of those other providers, but that is something that is a potential, and she's probably looking at going out to bid, but that's going to be something that I'm sure she'll be discussing with the jail magistrates and determining whether or not that's appropriate as we get closer to probably May.
Any other questions? All those in favor of approving the, oops,
We need a motion?
Do we have to read it?
No,
we're not no.
It's like,
You've all been able to read the contract.
I move to accept.
Second.
Motion is second. Any other questions? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you very much. I'd like to get a motion to adjourn. I'm going to have a couple comments for our folks watching it on
Yeah.
Facebook after we adjourn the meeting. Can I get a motion to adjourn?
Move to adjourn.
Motion is second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? We are now adjourned. Thank you, Leslie.
Thank you.
Again, for those of you who will watch this on Facebook, I want to give you a couple developments. First of all, based on information we have now, we're going to close the fairgrounds in Freedom Park. There are apparently too many crowds gathering at the playground there and at the basketball court. So for everybody's safety and to make sure that we are observing social distance guidelines, we're going to close the gates at fairgrounds in Freedom Park. We urge people who might go to our other parks across the county to please observe social distancing guidelines. If we hear more stories or witness more stories of large crowds gathering in playgrounds, we're going to have to figure out a way to close down those playgrounds. And we don't want that to happen. We want people to be able to use our parks responsibly, especially now when people are beginning to get cabin fever and need to get out and stretch their legs and use the parks responsibly. But again, we have a serious issue here in COVID-19, and social distancing is a key to flattening the curve on this. So we're going to try to watch our parks as best we can, but we also ask for the help of people who live near our parks to keep an eye on them, and please impress upon your neighbors the importance of not having your kids around a bunch of other kids on a playground. The governor last night issued an executive order restricting travel. The executive order was posted last night. We relayed that information on our Facebook page and other media, and we are still digesting what all this means, what responsibilities of counties or cities are, especially in border counties such as ours. There's going to be a telephone conference today that the governor is going to participate in. I hope there's further instruction there. We have no directive from the state at this point to alter our law enforcement in any particular way to adhere to this executive order. We do not have any information that businesses here that send trucks or employees to other states to get necessary equipment or inventory need to carry with them some sort of special letter indicating what it is they're doing. We don't have any instruction like that. So hopefully today and in the coming days, if we are truly responsible for enforcing this executive order, we will get further guidance. But again, as of right now, we don't have any more information other than what you've read in the executive order. We do urge people to adhere to it. If you're going to travel out of state, make sure it's only for necessary activities or requirements such as doctor's appointments, grocery shopping in some cases, and there are other things in the executive order that are allowed. Other than that, The one thing I recall from that is if you come back into the state from going out of it for any length of time, when you get back to Kentucky, you're supposed to quarantine yourself for 2 weeks. Again, how we enforce that, what that exactly looks like, who exactly is supposed to do that, we have a lot of questions. So I just wanted to let you know that the county has as many things to learn about this new executive order as folks who've read it online. So any other comments or questions from any of our fiscal court members as to the newest developments with the coronavirus? Okay, thank you for watching it on Facebook. We may be back later today with more instruction after that conference call with the governor. Please monitor our Facebook pages, our websites, relative Facebook pages and websites from other local governments and healthcare providers and the state. Thank you very much, and see you soon.